5 o'clock in the morning. A drum roll echoes down a boulevard lined with linden trees. 100,000 people live in this city, and 25,000 of them are soldiers. They stand in perfect lines, muskets on their shoulders, boots, polished to a mirror shine. Not a single man moves. The man watching them from the palace window is not just a king. He is a flute player, a poet, a philosopher, and the most dangerous military mind in Europe. His name is Frederick, and this is his Berlin. To understand Berlin in 1750, you need to understand one thing first. Prussia is not a normal country. Voltaire, the most famous philosopher in Europe, put it best. He said, "Some countries have an army. In Prussia, the army has a country." He was not exaggerating. In 1750, 80% of Prussia's entire national revenue goes to the military. The army is not just part of the state. It is the state. And Berlin is its capital, its headquarters, and its showcase. The city has grown rapidly. In 1700, Berlin had barely 55,000 inhabitants. By 1750, it has nearly doubled. 100,000 people now live in a city that was, just a century earlier, little more than a provincial town in the sandflats of Brandenburg. What changed? The Hohenzollerns happened. The Hohenzollern dynasty has ruled Brandenburg for 3 centuries. But it was Frederick's grandfather who turned the title from elector to king, and it was Frederick's father, a man known as the Soldier King, who turned Berlin into a military machine. Frederick William I was, by any measure, a terrifying man. He woke his children with cannon fire. He beat his servants with a cane. He spent almost nothing on culture and almost everything on soldiers. His most prized possession was a regiment of abnormally tall men, the Potsdam Giants, recruited, bought or kidnapped from across Europe. Some stood nearly 7 feet tall. They were his living collection, and this was the man who raised the future Frederick the Great. The young Frederick was nothing like his father. He played the flute. He read French poetry. He wrote letters to philosophers. He wore silk instead of wool. He had no interest in hunting, drilling, or warfare. His father despised him for it. The Soldier King called his son weak. He humiliated him in public. He burned his books. He forced him to watch soldiers drill for hours in the cold. And when the 18-year-old Frederick tried to escape to England with his closest friend, a young lieutenant named Hans Hermann von Katte, the consequences were devastating. Katte was arrested, tried, and sentenced to death. Frederick was forced to watch the execution from his cell window. Some accounts say the 2 men locked eyes in the final moment. Frederick fainted. He was 18 years old. He would never be the same. The boy who loved flutes and philosophy would eventually become one of the most ruthless military strategists in European history. But he never stopped playing the flute. By 1750, Frederick has been king for 10 years, and he has transformed Berlin. The heart of his new capital is a boulevard called Unter den Linden, under the linden trees. It stretches for nearly a mile from the royal palace in the east to the hunting grounds of the Tiergarten in the west. It is, in its day, the Champs-Élysées of Central Europe. Along this boulevard, Frederick has built an entirely new cultural district, the Forum Fridericianum. It includes a brand new opera house, the Staatsoper, opened in 1742, where Frederick himself sometimes performs on the flute. Next to it, St. Hedwig's Cathedral, the first Catholic church built in Protestant Berlin since the Reformation. Frederick fills his opera house with Italian music, French conversation, and German precision. The performances begin at exactly 6 o'clock. The king arrives at exactly 5:55. No one is late. In Frederick's Berlin, even art runs on military time. But Unter den Linden is not just for the court. It is the busiest street in the city. Officers on horseback share the road with merchants, booksellers, and the children of French Huguenot refugees who make up a significant portion of Berlin's population. Their grandparents arrived in 1685, fleeing religious persecution in France, and were welcomed with protection. By 1750, the French community has woven itself into Berlin's fabric so deeply that French is the second language of the city. Frederick himself speaks it better than German. What is it like to actually live here? Let's walk through a day. If you are one of the 25,000 soldiers garrisoned in Berlin, your day begins before dawn. You sleep in barracks or in the home of a civilian who is required to house you. You drill for hours. You clean your musket until it shines. You march in perfect unison down streets built wide enough for entire battalions. If you are a civilian, your life revolves around markets and workshops. You wake early. You buy bread before the soldiers take it. You live among narrow streets, filled with the smells of bread, smoke, and the river. If you are Huguenot, you speak French at home, German in public, and pray in both. Your community runs some of Berlin's finest workshops. You are Prussian by law, French by blood, and Berliner by habit. By evening, the river is busy with trade. The gates close at night. Soldiers patrol the streets. Taverns fill with off-duty troops. Berlin is orderly, disciplined, and quietly alive with ideas. Outside Berlin, Frederick has built a private retreat, sans souci, meaning without a care. Here he plays music, writes poetry, and reads philosophy. And in 1750 he invites the most famous writer in Europe to join him. Voltaire arrives in Berlin, drawn by money and freedom. For nearly 3 years, the king and the philosopher live and work together. They debate, dine, and exchange ideas. It becomes one of the most famous intellectual partnerships in history, but it does not last. Disagreements grow, tensions rise. Voltaire eventually leaves. They never meet again, but they continue writing to each other for years. Yet there is a darker side to this city. The army depends on forced conscription. Families lose their sons. Discipline is harsh. Punishments are brutal. Soldiers fear their officers more than the enemy. Frederick understands this contradiction. He writes about justice, freedom, and tolerance. He bans torture. But he also wages wars that cost thousands of lives. He is both philosopher and ruler, enlightened, yet feared. By 1750, Berlin stands between two worlds. It is not yet like Paris or London, but it has something unique. Ambition built from nothing. The city is being designed, shaped, and imagined by one man. Within its strict military system, new ideas are growing. Science, philosophy, tolerance, all finding space in an unlikely place. Berlin is complex, contradictory, and unlike anywhere else in Europe, Berlin in 1750 is not the Berlin we know today. But its identity is already there. The ambition, the discipline, the tension between freedom and control. All of it begins here, under the linden trees, in a city shaped by a king who played the flute while commanding an army. The boulevard still exists. The palace still stands. And Frederick, old Fritz, still rests where he chose, beside his dogs, overlooking the city he built. If you made it this far, tell me, what city or era should we explore next? And if you want to keep traveling through time, subscribe. See you in the next one.